Hi everyone, welcome to today's lecture. Today we are going to look at HTML anchor elements. So, what are anchor elements? Anchor elements can also be said to be a hyperlink. All this do is it actually points to a particular image's location, links, or whatever in your document. So we'll go straight to the point by expressing how anchor elements work, what are the major targets, which is the attributes that are required in your anchor element. Okay, having said that, we have two types of anchor elements, or two types of hyperlink in our HTML document. We have the absolute URL and we have the relative URL. So, having said that, let's look at how anchor elements are being written. Anchor element is represented with just an A tag, right? You can as well write your A and hit your enter for the emit to provide the attribute and the formatting for you. Alright, so the A tag represents what? Anchor element. Remember, whatever you start must have a closing tag. So the href there represents the location where you are pointing. So we talked about absolute URL, and we say absolute URL has to do with a hyperlink that goes out of your web document. Alright, what that means is simply I can decide to say https://google.com. alright, and I might say visit Google page. Alright, so from the results here you can see that this comes as a link. When I take my mouse close to this right up visit Google page, my mouse will change to a pointer way, telling you that this is a link. So when I navigate on this, or when I click on this, it will actually take me towards Google page, as you can see. Alright, so that is a very good example of what an absolute URL, pointing out outside our root folder or outside our content. Okay, so let's look at relative URL. So for a relative URL, we still need to open up with a as the anchor tag. Then the href here simply points inside the root folder or inside any document where we are referring to. You know, anchor elements has to do with hyperlinks. What are hyperlinks? Just a particular link to be navigated one set. Okay, so for a relative URL, I might decide to point to our text. Remember, in our root folder here we have the last topic we treated about text formatting. So I might decide to point to that particular document, which is text_formatting.html. So, and on the content, which is what the browser will see, I might say text formatting lesson. Alright, so now I might decide to use break. Break is another element that brings an item to the next line. So as you can see from the result here, so I might decide to also duplicate it twice so that it will look more nicer. Good. So now when I click on text formatting lesson, it will take me to that particular lesson which we talked about, meaning that it's a what? A relative URL. So what is relative URL? Let's do a recap. A relative URL has to do with what? The hyperlink or the document you are pointing at within your root folder. While an absolute URL has to do with an external link or hyperlink, like from this example we pointed to google.com. Alright, that's it for this one. See you in the next one.